Probably one of the worst things you can do to a computer is enclose it in a box with little ventilation, which is basically what you're doing with one of these pre-made desks with a computer cabinet. In fact, the desk I have tells you specifically that the door to the unit should be kept open when the computer is on. Since I like the clean look of having the door closed, I'm going to install a cabinet fan on the side of this desk to vent the hot exhaust air from my PC. This was a quick project, only taking me a couple hours, including filming. To provide for proper airflow into the cabinet, I'm going to drill a series of holes on the bottom of the cabinet and the opposite side. This will allow the exhaust fan to pull cooler air in from the bottom, which will circulate into the computer case, and then the hot exhaust air will rise to the top of the cabinet and be pulled out with a cabinet fan. To lay these holes out, I'm using a dividers and arranging the holes in a hexagonal grid. These holes happen to be 3/8 inch diameter and spaced at 3/4 of an inch. To keep the back face from chipping out, I'm clamping on a backer board of scrap 2x material. I then use a piece of tape to mark the depth for drilling. I recommend using a brad point bit for this since it will give the cleanest entry hole. With the vent holes drilled, now it's time to cut the hole for the exhaust fan. I lay out the hole with some masking tape and a combination square. Now for a quick idiot check with the fan body to make sure I have the hole dimensions correct. With the fan installed, I give it a quick test. Ultimately, I'll be plugging this into a USB port on my computer so that it turns on and off with it. Now to wrap things up. I had previously cut these holes in the cabinet to match the air intakes on my old computer case, and also so that I could reach my hand in the cabinet and plug wires into the back of the computer. Since they will short circuit the airflow I'm trying to establish, I'm blocking them off with a couple scraps of beadboard. I'm only using one screw per piece, which will allow them to pivot out of the way when I need to reach my hand in the cabinet. Now to check how well the ventilation fan works. I'll start with just a baseline of temperature readings, with my computer not doing much of anything other than doing a screen capture, just to establish a baseline. Now we'll see the temperature after playing video games for about 30 minutes. The computer is hotter, as expected, but the inside of the cabinet is relatively cool, as is the air being exhausted out of the fan. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I can keep the door to the cabinet closed, and my PC won't get cooked. All in all, I'd declare this a success. Thanks for following along. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.